Today, I want to talk about one of the most important business stories in residential real estate right now, and that's brokerage consolidation. This is one of those topics that can sound like a corporate headline that only matters to CEOs and investors. But in my opinion, that would be a mistake, because when brokerages consolidate, it eventually affects agents, team leaders, recruiting, training, culture, commission structures, technology platforms, and the way consumers experience the business. So let's break down why this is happening, why it matters, and what I think agents and broker owners should be watching. First, let's start with the obvious. The biggest headline in this space has been the Compass and Anywhere merger. That deal officially closed in January, and it combined two of the biggest names in residential real estate. That alone tells you something important. We are at a moment where scale is being treated as a strategic advantage again. But here's the thing. Scale is not the full story. A recent HousingWire analysis on real estate M&A said the market in 2026 looks more measured and selective. They pointed to integration challenges, capital discipline, and pressure on firms to rebuild operating margins. In other words, companies still want to grow, but they're being forced to think harder about how they grow, what they pay, and whether the deals actually make sense. That matters because the old playbook of just getting bigger at any cost is not enough in this market. Another key piece of context is profitability. HousingWire reported that average brokered gross margins had fallen nearly 10% by the end of 2024, with some national firms operating below that level. That's a huge signal. When margins compress, the entire business model gets stress tested. Suddenly, every line item matters. Recruiting costs matter. Technology costs, support staff matters, lead generation matters. The ability to retain productive agents matters, and that's exactly why consolidation tends to accelerate in markets like this. When organic growth is acquisitions look attractive, buying another brokerage can be faster than building market share one recruit at a time, but acquisitions also come with a risk. Integration is hard. Culture can get diluted. Systems can clash. Agent experience can worsen if leadership is not careful. That's why I think this is such an important real estate conversation. The real issue is not simply whether more mergers happen. The real issue is whether brokerages can turn consolidation into something agents actually feel as an improvement. Does the platform become stronger? Does support become better? Does training improve? Do agents get more opportunities? Does the brokerage create a clearer local advantage, or does the organization just become bigger, slower, and more confusing? Those are very different outcomes. Another angle here is that the next phase of consolidation may not be dominated only by the biggest national brands. HousingWire's reporting suggests regional and local firms could play a bigger role in the next wave, especially as some large buyers become more conservative and more selective. I think this is a very important point for broker owners, because for years, a lot of industry discussion around consolidation has focused on the giants. But real opportunity may increasingly sit with strong regional operators who know their markets, understand their agent base, and can acquire or merge in a way that preserves culture instead of destroying it. And if you're an independent brokerage, that opens up two paths. Path one is differentiation. You stay independent and get much more disciplined about your value proposition. You get crystal clear on what makes your company better for the right agents. Path two is strategic combination. You look at whether joining forces with another firm could improve your financial strength, local reach, recruiting power, or operational efficiency. Neither path is automatically right, but pretending the market is not changing would be the real mistake. There's also a team angle here that should not be ignored. Inman recently covered LPT Aperture Holdings acquiring Humanize and Reside, and one of the notable themes in that story was whether or not someone fully agrees with that thesis. It's another signal that power structure inside residential real estate is still evolving. That's why agents and team leaders need to ask smarter questions today. Not just what's my split, what's the brand, what tech do they offer, but how stable is the brokerage model? How clear is the leadership vision? Can this company stay profitable? Will this platform help me grow in my market? If consolidation continues, will I be in a stronger or weaker position? Those are better questions for this moment. There's another reason this matters. Consumer trust and agent productivity are both on the line. If brokerages become too focused on corporate engineering and not focused enough on helping agents serve clients better, then consolidation becomes a distraction. But if consolidation creates stronger systems, better tools, better compliance, better marketing, and clearer support, then it can actually improve the industry. That's the fork in the road. And that's why I think the winners in the next chapter of the brokerage are not going to be defined by size alone. They're going to be defined by usefulness. The most useful brokerages will be the ones that help agents answer the practical questions that matter every day. How do I win listings? How do I convert leads? How do I build a local brand? How do I stay productive in a slower market? How do I improve my economics? How do I operate more consistently? If a brokerage can answer those questions well, it has real value. If it can't, then the logo on the building matters a lot less. So my takeaway is simple. Brokerage consolidation is real. It's happening. It's being driven by margin pressure, changing valuations, selective M&A, and ongoing search for scale and efficiency. But the most important part of the story is not the mergers themselves. It's what happens after them. Do agents get better outcomes? Do leaders build healthier companies? Do consumers get a better experience? Do local markets become stronger? That's the real test. And if you're an agent, team leader, or broker owner, this is the moment to look hard at the platform and ask whether it's truly built for the next phase of the real estate business. Because in a market like this, clarity beats noise, usefulness beats hype, and strategy beats size alone.